Honourable Maurice Williamson.
Speaker, we're coming up to around about 16 months into the second term of the current National-led government, and it's about a time and midpoint where it's worthwhile looking at a comparison between what's on offer between either side of the House. And, sir, I don't think the differences could be more stark. If we look at the circumstances under which this government came to office, we came in the year when the global financial crisis had decimated the world's economy. We were then smacked by the most incredible natural disaster this nation has ever experienced, called the Canterbury earthquakes, about 11,000 of them, and the huge loss of wealth and income that those quakes caused, sir. And I have to say that along with that, plus a number of other issues along the way, would normally have taken a government to their knees. But, sir, what has happened is that the public in the current polling is suggesting that they still have confidence in where the government is taking this place under incredibly trying circumstances. And I was hoping my Labor colleagues would interject, because I now want to quote from one of the most luminary people from the media in this country. Not a friend of mine, not even a close friend, someone who I actually don't normally agree with. But Brian Rudman of the New Zealand Herald, sir, said today in an article headed "Labor should be making inroads." I want members of the House to listen to what the wonderful journalist Brian Rudman of the New Zealand Herald had to say. Despite the best efforts of opposition politicians, single-issue campaigners, and me and my colleagues in the media, most Kiwis seem resolutely unconvinced that this country is actually heading to hell in a handbasket. Now, there's about 5 little nuggets of gems in that little statement. The best efforts of me and my colleagues in the media. Now, does that not, for example, give you an idea that this is now official? It's actually official that Brian Rudman and others are indeed the official opposition of this country. He's declared it. He's actually not just said it, he has finally declared something we've suspected for a while. He's declared it. But the New Zealand public haven't been hoodwinked by that, sir. No, no, no. They realise the incredible difficult circumstances, and so when Labor get up and talk about whether there are as many jobs created as there should have been, most members of the New Zealand public immediately say, well, actually, I think the government's done a damn good job based on the circumstances that they were faced. And I want to give the opposition a good example of a general manager of an Asian airline when I was speaking to him, sir, back in the 1990s, about 1996, or whenever the Asian financial crisis occurred. He said, Maurice, every time I meet with my chief executive back in our home base, I am held to total, absolute targets, and if I don't achieve them, I'd lose my job. But he said, you know what's happened this year? Because of the Asian financial crisis and the total meltdown, I've been told, just do whatever you can because the circumstances are so ghastly. We won't hold you to anything, do your best. And the New Zealand public have looked at this government, sir, and looked at a track record of incredible successes along the way in some of the most trying times and said, well, actually, that's good. And well done, and we're going to stay with you, we're going to back you on it. And then they look at an opposition who can't even determine who their leader is. I mean, it's the most open leadership race that's ever been. It normally is only one leader or one person there and another person challenging. I think there's 34 of them that could be the leader in the next ballot. They could all be having a go at it because it is the most open ballot. And what I found interesting was in their last ballot for leader, I think this is delicious. In their last ballot for leader, there was only one candidate. It's a little bit like the Mugabe leadership challenge. There was only one candidate, and he didn't get 10 votes from his own people. 10 of them did not vote for him. How has that happened? Now, I understand if there'd been a really good challenger taking on David Shearer. I understand that, sir. There was no other candidate, and yet 10 people still didn't. That's why the public don't think they could be a government in waiting. That's why the people won't ever support the Labor Greens opposition, and that's why the public is staying with the current National-led government.
Honourable Annette King.
Mr Speaker, it's no way to run a country, Mr Speaker. It's no way to run a country.